You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this won't be a piece of cake. Put your face. Folks, welcome to the Before Hours podcast. I am sweaty because I am late. Ilya's sweaty because that's who he is as a man.
I'm not that. I was gonna say you're so much more visibly sweaty.
I'm very sweaty. So, folks, can we do a bit of like inside baseball?
Oh,
can
sure.
we let them peek behind the corner?
Yes, mix as many metaphors as you want. You guys want to see how the sausage is made?
Guys, okay. So I was at IC Brooklyn Cafe, which is where I hang out before recording, and we recorded last week at 5 p.m. And even though I booked the appointment, like I set it up myself, and I told Ilya 3:45. I woke up today, and my dumb ass was like, "We're recording at 5." And then I happened to look at my phone 10 minutes after you sent it to me, and I knew I had exactly 20 minutes to walk here, and I was 10 minutes late. I hate being late so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be off this whole. I have to go. I just have to say it.
It's nice to tell the audience at the top, so they won't bother listening to the rest of the episode.
Folks, this is a
Can't
wash.
You lie. You say
Turn it
I'm
off.
extra hyped because of I'm sweaty and late.
I
I'm gonna be extra
specifically didn't wear sunscreen, by the way, so that I wouldn't have this shiny feeling.
Okay.
And then I end up fucking sweating on my way over here. And dude, I was stopped at a red light, right? And like an actual New York City one where like cars are going by, so I can't jaywalk. So that's when I texted both of you that I was going to be late. And then I was like, well, I'm not just going to run in silence, so I'm going to put on some music.
You're gonna motivate yourself. Okay.
I put on Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique, which is Maxim, you're laughing. Do you know the song? Of course. Okay. So spoiler if you've never listened to the song.
I don't know what the song is.
Yeah, it's you're my worker, host, lover, partner,
Co-lover?
co-lover.
Like you need co for that.
Yeah. Our
We love
girls
together.
are outside of the room, and then you and I make love here.
They're the outside room girls.
The outside room girls? I don't like that.
That was originally for guys we fuck. And then
So guys, here's I know I'm late, and everyone hates being late, but I start catastrophizing. I'm like, Ilya and Maxim are never going to speak to me again, right? So I'm like not jogging, but like speed walking, like a middle-aged woman, like
it's a mall walking.
Yeah, the mall walking. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I have Dance with the Devil. And spoiler alert if you never listened to the song, but Immortal Techniques has a song called Dance with the Devil where the protagonist accidentally rapes his own mom. So that's what I was listening
Accidentally, like in an Oedipus kind of way? Or he meant to rape someone else, and it turns out it was his mom?
to. The latter.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, Immortal Technique allegedly once knew a colleague, paraphrasing, and his name was William, and his primary concern was making $1 million, right? So he had to like force sex someone into the gang, as
I
you
know
do.
you gang jumped in if you're like a girl. And
So he had to do that, and her face was covered. This is in the song. This isn't an actual thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then so he SAs her, right? I'm not just saying that because he's Latino, but they pull off the cover, and it's his own mom.
It's kind of like a Serbian film. You ever see that?
No, I know what it is. Tell the audience. It's
It's
even worse than Requiem from a Dream, I've heard.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Although I've never actually watched all of Requiem for a Dream. I think straightforward, but yeah, it's it's a very disturbing movie.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's from Serbia, so title clues you in. And basically, this guy is like, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but there's people who are like forcing this guy. I think I'm not sure he's blackmailed or like he's offering a lot of money, but he has to do like crazy stuff, and it's like weird sex things, and they're increasingly more bizarre or weird things. And
Okay, like interracial stuff?
Well, to be fair, in Serbia, that's probably the one black chick. Yeah, it's not. That is a hard one to pull off. Just
so,
but anyway,
pause and watch a Serbian film.
a Serbian film.
Yeah, and then return to this episode, which again I want to reiterate is a wash. But go ahead, Ilya.
Should I spoiler alert it?
Spoiler alert, dude.
Okay, this spoiler alert. We'll give you a time marker for when I'm done spoiling. But it not culminates in, but he's like, it's a weird scene, and like there's people like in a group in the gathering. He's like in the center of this group, and he's fucking I don't know if he's aware that it's a child or something, just like a figure behind a thing, and then it turns out it's his son. And then, yeah,
What year did this?
I want to say it's like 2010, maybe 2009.
They okay. So Immortal Technique thought of accidental rape incest first.
When is Mr. Technique's song?
I believe.
Is it a person or a group?
No, he's a guy.
He's a guy,
and he still lives in Harlem, which is either admirable or sad depending on the circumstances.
I'm sure there's nice house in Harlem.
Yeah. I think so. I actually used to live in West Harlem, and West Harlem, as opposed to East Harlem, is nicer.
Is it?
I did something very stupid one time because I moved to New York, right?
Yeah.
And I sort of had the mentality that, like, anyone that says a place is dangerous is being like a little weird. You know what I mean? Not necessarily racist, but just like, okay.
Overly cautious because of perhaps a bias.
Right. You see like one crackhead and you're like, oh my God, I would never walk here at night. But I went to a wedding in upstate New York, and I'm a sober Sally. I wanted to save money on a hotel room. So after the wedding, I took the train back to New York City, and it went to East Harlem. And then East Harlem to West Harlem, it's just a 20-minute walk across Manhattan, right? And I did that, and it was actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Halfway through, I realized I made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And I did the thing where I'm like, I figured out, and first of all, I'm like uncomfortable having my phone out.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then you just have that look about you when you don't know exactly where you are. And I'm pulling up Uber and Lyft, and the same amount of time that it would take for them to pick me up as it takes to walk home. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy.
And what was scary about it?
There were, dare I say, heads of crack. What's the politically correct way to crackhead Americans?
I don't think you need to specify by drug per se. I think you say
addicts,
drug addicts, perhaps. By the way, I've noticed that a lot of like fent leans today. People leaning.
Really?
Over. I don't know if it was the summer was bringing them out, but like I saw 3 or 4 different ones today.
Do you think they're normally inside, but they're like, I might as well?
I think they might come out for the sun.
Well, it's like that thing where there's more murders in the summer because people are hot and upset, and more people are likely.
I just thought it was more the people more outside. And there's only so many activities.
Dude, listen to me. I'm like fucking, you know how everyone has an adverse relationship with the sun? You know how everyone's like
makes you fills you with murderous rage?
Dude, I honestly,
that's why Irish crime spikes in the summer.
That and the alcoholism.
Bootlegging goes crazy.
Dude, I feel like such a cringe. I'm not like other boys when I say this, but I legitimately dislike the summer. Like,
yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Hate it.
Especially in New York in particular, it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the garbage smells worse than
Terrible.
any other time of the year. It's just brutally hot. There's not, like, the subways aren't air conditioned, or the platforms aren't air conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some are if you're lucky to find one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's an insane system. It's stuffy and hot down there, and then you're just waiting, and then it's brutal. It's a miserable place.
Don't ever move to New York. Actually, I love New York, but don't move here because my rent gets higher and higher every year.
And certainly don't move here and start doing comedy.
No,
we
don't
need
do
more
that.
Competition.
Don't do that, especially if you're young and attractive. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, if you're young and hot, stop following your dreams east. Go to LA.
Yeah, go to
Take
LA.
Take that shit to LA.
Do an act out. Do a premise.
New York's for the uggos.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I actually feel that. And listen, I understand that I'm a child of God, and in that way,
we're all children of God.
Elohim, Adonai. Yeah, I'm just translating because you're Jewish.
What are you translating what I said?
Yeah,
into Hebrew.
Yeah.
Do you know Yiddish at all, or just Hebrew?
Ooh, I know schmuck.
That's a good.
I know schmear.
Those are all the shiz.
I know putz.
Putz.
I think actually schmuck and putz. I was like an adult when someone was like, "Those are Yiddish words."
Yeah.
Because I'm not from New York. I'm from the suburbs outside of New York, but like enough of that culture like comes through.
What culture?
The Jewish culture. I wasn't even being weird.
No, I know. I just wanted to see if you'd slip up and say something anti-Semitic.
Because I'm very careful on this podcast.
No, but sometimes you do it obviously, and then I was like, if I catch him slipping up unintentionally, then your true anti-Semitism comes out.
Dude,
your non-performative ironic racism, but like your deeply held one.
My actual
your
deep inside.
Your 20-minute walk in Harlem scared of black people. Racism.
Listen, and you were hinting at that. Let me say that everybody that I happened to be scared of at that moment was a POC, but that doesn't mean I'm afraid of all POCs.
What C? What C's were there?
What C's?
What kind of C's?
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, C's?
No, I'm just kidding.
Ugh.
What kind of C's were these peas? Hold on, can we use this color chart? Well, point on the color chart. What kind of C's were the peas?
My bad. I meant to take that down.
Okay, I like it. But well, we got a problem now. So
Okay, I am.
So point on the chart.
Um.
Where are we going? I'm gonna look. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the monitor so I can see where you're pointing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Just kidding. That would be downtown. No, that's in the southwest.
I like how you took this as an opportunity to make more racist jokes.
This is my people. Gross.
Gross.
What color is?
What color Jews?
Yeah.
It's like, just go blue and white. Just the Israeli flag.
It's interesting. If you ask liberals, it's this, right?
Yeah.
And then if you ask right wingers,
Yeah.
it's this. But if you ask me,
Yeah.
it's this.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that nice or bad?
No, when I see it in my blue, dabba-dee, dabba-die. That was fun. So a little inside baseball there. I guess changing the color. I loved hearing from Maxim's voice that he hated that you were using his color samples for this bit. Don't worry,
He didn't say that
guys.
he hated it. Right?
If you're
He's just
if you're
like,
listening, Maxim didn't plan that at all. In fact, he was, dare I say, shaking his head the whole time.
we don't know, of course, because he is behind curtains.
He is the man behind the curtain.
Which isn't really, I guess, like sound and all that.
By the
but
way,
like,
thank you for not correcting me earlier when I said man behind the corner.
do you say corner?
Yeah, I was like, oh, he must not have heard me.
Probably. But I can't. My thing can't just be picking you up on like because that's just grading for everyone. I
Yeah.
can't do that all the time.
You
I have to
maybe
be more
can.
selective.
I think,
I definitely could, but I have to fight the instinct to do
Mhm.
that constantly.
dude, I'm all out of sorts because I had a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm actually, this might be where I'm at my best. I might be. Folks, let me know in the comments if
You see,
think
you
I'm
were
at
at your
my-
best, and then you decided to do that thing where you go, folks, in charge of your ironic folksy bullshit. It's just like,
Also, I can't stop looking at myself
you can't.
because usually the monitor's not on, but we had it on today because everyone but me thought we were gonna do something. Oh man, I'm doing my best.
I worked at a bit. I worked at an actual radio zoo kind of morning radio bit.
So will it work next week,
I
or
don't
is
know.
it timeless?
I just yeah, it'll be work. It's not topical. Yes.
Okay.
It's not topical.
See, my thing is though, whenever I think of something funny, if I don't say it like that day,
Yeah.
I wake up the next day and I'm like, that's the most unfunny thought I've ever had. You know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
happens a lot of time.
Mhm.
Sometimes I go back and it's like I can't even comprehend what I thought would be funny about it.
Mhm.
Like an old joke, like in a note, I'd be like, I don't know what this means.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, my mind was like, this is good.
I have a notebook from like the first 2 years of me doing comedy, and it's mostly dog shit.
No, you should put that in the Museum of Comedy.
Yeah.
There is one. There is something like that, right?
We and by we I mean me and my
Our brethren in the comedy brotherhood.
a brethren in the comedy. I like how redundant that is.
Yeah, I realize, as I said, it's
Mhm.
like, but
I'm rubbing off on you,
our
dude.
brethren in comedy.
That's some shit I would have said. I love that you, a lawyer, are being made dumber by
Stop
sitting next
mentioning
to
I'm
me.
a lawyer. I'm a full-time comedian.
Oh,
We
he's a
don't-
full-time comedian, guys.
I definitely didn't take it. Just leave early to come do this.
Oh no, that makes me being late so much worse.
Yeah.
There's some
There are
some
more-
Nepali man being deported as we speak.
Because I'm just like, I really got to record this podcast. I don't think you understand. I have a bit planned. I can't hold off on this.
Your Honor, if he doesn't get asylum, he will be. Oh, sorry, my alarm's going off.
Yeah.
I have to go podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. If you're watching, both Ilya and I are professionals. He is not a lawyer. I am not a telemarketer. Actually, I am a telemarketer, but I do it as a passion. I just love bothering
For the
people.
love of the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Would you get into scamming old people out of money? Anything like
Dude,
that?
I felt like I was close to that this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was calling this guy, and the thing is, we're not supposed to hang up, right? And I was talking to a guy that was literally 82 years old.
Yeah.
In fact, he started the conversation with, I'm 82. Is that
It's like,
okay?
you ring. I'm 82. It's like, perfect.
Yeah. Because I felt bad for a lot of reasons. Like, first of all, it was my first call at 8 a.m. And yes, I do call people at 8 a.m. And
Well, are you calling them which coast?
always the same time zone.
Okay.
So at least there's that.
So you're just bothering people on the Eastern Seaboard.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, New Englanders mostly. So
Nice.
I called this guy, and it's hilarious. Some of them actually do sound like a Stephen King character.
Like the Maine.
Yeah,
It's like, it's a bit early for you to be calling, but I got plenty of time.
dude. And so I live with roommates, and I felt so bad because this guy answers and he's like, I'm 82. He literally asked if it was okay that he was 82. He's like, I'm 82. Is that okay? And I'm like,
Is that okay before you said anything?
I came very close to going, thank you for your service.
Oh,
Because I just thought, I was like, thanks for being
should have
so
been like,
old.
I know that, Grandpa, and see if he falls for it.
Ooh.
And then you could scam out of some money.
Well, dude, I was how do I put this? He like could not hear me, and I'm not gonna do it now. But I could not raise my voice high enough for him to hear me.
Okay.
It was just a thing, like everything I said to him needed to be repeated in another time.
Yeah.
And it's 8 a.m. and both of my roommates are
Yeah.
asleep.
And you can't be screaming. It's like, what is your address? Do you sell anything particular? Or
I'm not at
What's
liberty to say, but actually,
do you actually have? Are you actually not allowed?
it's such a small thing that if I say it, people will be able to find out immediately.
Oh,
It's a real product. I'm not actually scamming people, but if you're 82, you can't be buying stuff.
okay. So it's
Yeah.
a product that 82-year-olds would buy.
I'll talk about anything else. I literally can't. I can't
It's
talk
so
about
funny.
it.
The one of all the pressure points, like actually, this is off topic. This is off the table. We can't talk about it.
A few months ago, you asked me what I jerk off to, and I didn't hesitate for a second. But
Did I? What did I say? Oh yeah, you said
Yeah.
you like ladies fighting each other.
women, and then you
Women-
said foxy boxing. Yeah.
Because that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay, is it like the wrestling one where they wrestle? Or
No, it's just like dom and sub stuff.
okay, it's not like punching and kicking. Right? Like real
No,
violence.
it's some slapping. It's
Stuff.
definitely some stuff that I actually wouldn't do. I'd feel too bad.
You wouldn't do to them.
No, I wouldn't do it to anybody.
Would you want anyone to do it to you?
No, I'm not. I'm not
Yeah.
subordinate in any way except in comedy.
You're a real comedy cuck.
Dude, honestly, that's how it feels sometimes. I had a guy because I was like barking outside a comedy club the other day, and Jay Turner, friend of the podcast, every time he sees me, he tells me I shouldn't have to do this, and I'm like, we are in full agreement.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
None of us are happy about the situation.
The market disagrees, and because he's Jay, he was like, "What does the market mean?" But he knows what it means. He knows it's funny to pretend like he doesn't know stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally wears a do-rag on Man on the Street interviews, despite the fact that he's like a regular guy with a job.
Okay.
Mhm.
Some people, you gotta represent who you want people, how you want people to perceive yourself.
Yeah, I once had someone tell me that I should rap while dressed as a leprechaun and put it on TikTok.
Who told you this?
Some guy that'll never be on the podcast.
Okay.
Because I don't know, we were all like hanging out, and I was freestyling for some reason.
For some reason, let me guess the reason. It's because you desperately need attention at all times of the day, under any circumstance, no matter what.
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. That is the reason. Yeah. No one was looking at me for at least 10 seconds.
It's like, this is time for some battle rap. I gotta fill the silence.
And he went, "That's pretty good. You should rap and be like posted on TikTok and it'll go viral." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, you need a gimmick though, so you should dress as a leprechaun." And I was like, "You should consider not saying things like that to people." But what can you do? I don't know if he's wrong, but also you got to be careful and not like get attention for the wrong reason.
Yeah. That's why I don't publicly commit. I was gonna say rape, but I bring up rape too much. I can't keep saying that publicly. Rape.
I love that you didn't.
Then I had to bring it
You've
up.
done this before. You're like, this would be something that I would say, and then you'd say it.
Yeah, but
And now
that
it's
gives
said.
plausible deniability. I didn't say it. I would have said
That's
it.
like when you say allegedly.
Yeah, sure.
like-
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's allegedly. It's
Allegedly.
Wait, is that from something?
I don't know. Well,
So why did you do it then?
this has been the
Do you think it's
before.
from something? Or do you not think it's from something?
I remember hearing it after a roast battle show, which I don't do anymore because they are a waste of time. No offense, but when people,
Excuse me. Some of us are too deep into it to get out of the roasting business.
dude,
man.
roasting and hosting, and I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm a natural.
Even though you are
freestyle.
natural
Yeah.
freestyle.
Those are the two things that you could get like trapped in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sucks because there's skills that not all comedians have. So if you do have them, then people are like,
But they're also non-transferable skills. You
yeah.
can only just get other roasting stuff. Maybe a writing gig, but we're still writing for a roast or something.
Roasting's tough though, because if you do a roast battle show, you write jokes specifically for that person. You spend time memorizing them.
Yeah.
You can't use them again. I guess you could in some
I
circumstances.
repurpose them
Yeah, if there's a
if I have.
yeah, I feel like the best ones can't be reused because they're so
They're
specialized.
very particular to the person. Yeah.
But dude, there's been times where I worked really hard on jokes and I went to a roast battle show and it was like 6 like Brazilians
Oh yeah.
and they were like, "Is this like Jim Carrey?" And I'm like, "Fuck, god damn it,
And then you just go out and put on your the mask. And you're like, just do that movie.
dude."
This is exactly like Jim Carrey.
Have you experienced that before as an indie comedian like myself? Have you done like a hostel show where like multiple people seem to have a thin grasp on the English language?
I don't think I've had that be the issue. I've had shows with like immigrants, but like kind of like Western European, and so they were pretty
Right.
They spoke English well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I've ever had a problem. Maybe I'll use that as an excuse. I've had bad shows, and I'm gonna chalk it up.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they're all young and did not like me talking about race. It was that they probably, you know what, they probably didn't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be it.
Yeah. That would be great if you're bombing with race material and then you look at a Latino in the front
Yeah.
or a Latinx rather, excuse me, and you go, "Oh, do you not speak English?" That would actually be very fun.
That would explain why you're holding chiclets and assorted candies in the front row.
Dude, the other night I said numero dos just to be like
Yeah.
whimsical. And
Did you do the shoulder shake?
no,
Okay.
because in that moment
Just that's for the audio podcast.
that's
Cool.
for the
good.
this is filmed as well.
It is filmed, but no one's watching intently at this moment. Like they will have it on.
I think at least one person has this muted and they're masturbating to us.
Ooh, and it's you. That's why you know it's you in the
Mhm.
future.
Yeah.
I'm in the future. Will be masturbating to this video.
Ooh.
Sorry, what were you saying about Latin people?
Oh, I think they're great. I actually think they're wonderful.
Okay. Okay.
You look nice today.
Oh God, your instincts about breaking the silence are off. It's like someone already say something, or I'm gonna start hitting on guys. Please, someone break the silence.
That's why I have so much, dude, or else my latent homosexuality comes
Guys,
out.
someone needs to talk, or this is gonna go gay real quick.
Oh man.
I saw a blue lady on the subway today, and I couldn't tell. You know, like colloidal silver. It's like that thing that like some people take. They think it works, and it turns people like blue. Their skin.
No.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Well, if we had a proper setup where we could just show images, that would be a fun thing to do. But
Guys,
anyway, I saw a lady who looked purple on the train.
She looked purple.
But then another old black lady came on and started singing "You Got the Whole World in Your Hands," which apparently has several verses,
yeah.
as opposed to just the one line that you know.
Every other time I'm on that particular train, that lady's on there.
Is she okay? I don't think they yell that
I
often.
could tell you her whole spiel. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I asked each and every wait, fuck, how's this go? If she's watching, she's gonna be so mad that I'm fucking this up. But she goes, I asked God and how's this go? Ilya, how does it go? I talked to God and I asked him to bless all of you, and I hope you have a great day.
I like that. It's almost like Jimmy Fallon delivery.
A little bit, yeah.
No, she did start cracking up to herself,
He's
and she had
gonna-
a drinking problem. So it might have been Jimmy Fallon in blackface.
Yeah.
Woman face.
I had to stop myself one time. I was walking down the steps of the Delancey Essex train stop,
Yeah.
which is where homeless people come from.
But there's a lot of different levels to that station. So yeah,
Mhm.
different areas.
And
to
I was just trying to get a meal so I could get something to eat. Please and thank you, and have a great day. Like he kind of has that cadence.
Okay.
Like he just does it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was walking down the steps and I heard that. And I almost, you know how like when there's a song playing in the
You just
grocery store,
Yeah,
you start singing
humming
it. I came so close to mimicking him.
Okay.
And then he would have, I assume, punched me right in the
Oh,
face.
you should have started freestyle rapping over the beat. And tell him, sir, this is what we call a collab.
Do homeless people fuck with you ever?
No, I mean, no, not fuck with me. I mean, the same. If like I'm in their eye line, they'll be like,
Mhm.
"Sir," like that. There's one lady by my office. Not that I have a job. There's one lady who's I've seen like every day for like 7 years,
Uh-huh.
and at some point I'm like, you gotta recognize me. I'm sure she sees probably thousands of people walking past her a day.
Yeah.
But like, you must have recognized me,
Mhm.
and I've never. And I'm not bragging. I'm not stopped to help, but like, just stop asking me, please.
Yeah.
But there's no way to complain. It's very, you can't complain about that and come away looking like a good person.
Yeah.
It's like this sad homeless lady keeps bothering me every single day.
Well, it's like, I'm certainly not a telemarketer, but someone I know is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have to keep calling them until they say, don't call me again or remove from list.
Yeah, they have to say that, right?
So you have.
It's kind of like if you want to remain silent with the police, you can't just be silent.
Mhm.
You have to actually invoke it.
Interesting.
Yeah, otherwise the cops can sort of fuck around.
Okay, so walk me through this. And I know you're not a defense attorney. You're not an attorney at
I'm
all.
not an attorney. I have a law degree. I have 3 DUIs. How do I get a law degree? That's crazy.
Okay, so I get arrested,
Yeah.
right?
They find the child porn on your computer. They arrest you. It's still illegal. Okay.
This is a hypothetical, folks. No one's found it.
You're so good. No, I can't find it.
Yeah.
It's like that guy lost his Bitcoin. It's like, God damn it, where's my goddamn child porn?
I'm running around. I'm like, where is it? My
Where is
roommate's
it?
like, what? I'm like, nothing.
Just, tech stuff. Have you seen any techie thing?
Where's my tax stuff?
You remember that? Do you know that thumb drive that I encased in ice and put in the back of the fridge?
There was an old man that got arrested for cheese pizza, like around my neighborhood I grew up in, and he was so old that I was part of me. The first part of me is like, what a piece of shit, and then the second part of me was like, how did he figure out how to?
Yeah.
He's like my grandpa's age.
Yeah, imagine you're doing tech support for your grandparents. It's like, okay, so I'm on the Wi-Fi now. Okay, now this is a weird question. What is the dark web? And how do I access it? I have a VPN. I got everything.
I'm actually too scared to go on the dark web. I read a Reddit thread about what the actual dark web is, and unless you're actually looking for cheese pizza, you will not find it.
Yeah.
The dark web is mostly people selling drugs.
Yeah, that would be. Maybe that could be a fun sketch, right?
Mhm.
Old man getting tech support going because he wants to find child porn on the dark web. Going to the Geek Squad, and like the computer trying to explain to him that it's illegal.
Mhm. Yeah,
But yeah,
you do look nice today.
yeah, thank you.
Oh man.
That's good.
But,
What were we talking about? It was something
Before
people- oh, where
when
should-
I get arrested. Okay, so
Yes.
I get arrested. That's where you got carried away. 'Cause
You said the word arrested, and I went down my usual rabbit hole
Mhm.
of cheese pizza, as you very quickly put it. Like
It's a 4chan thing. I didn't come up with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not crediting you, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying you did.
I don't currently browse 4chan or 8chan, but of course I did when I was 14.
when it was not child porn because you were also a child.
Yeah. Okay, so I get arrested.
Yeah.
This is going to be this is a PSA for our listeners because I assume a large portion of them are
So if
gonna
you
get
say
arrested.
nothing, the police can keep asking questions and sort of pestering you.
Mhm.
But in order for them to actually leave you alone, you say, "I invoke my right to remain silent,"
Okay.
and then it's in place. And then they can't, interrogate you.
Ooh, okay. So it's sort of like because they want to kind of skirt around it.
They have a lot of ways that they can skirt
Mhm.
around it, and it's really annoying how it's worked. But like the way the case law has developed over the years, just there's a lot of things the police can do that can like skirt around what's actually your rights are.
Mhm.
They'll come to your door. Like if they come to your door, they don't have a warrant to arrest you
Mhm.
inside your home. But if you step outside, they could commit a warrantless arrest if they have or not warrantless arrest. If they might have a warrant to arrest you, but not a warrant to enter your property or search.
Oh.
And so you see videos online of these First Amendment auditor people, like the cops on their doorbell, and they're like, "Can you come out and talk?" It's like, "I can hear you fine." It's like, "Come out and talk," and they keep doing that because eventually people will come out and talk, then they
Right.
can arrest them, but they can't go in the house forcibly, otherwise I'm taking them.
Ironically, it works the best on people that are not career criminals. Like if you're a career criminal, you know all this stuff. I assume.
Probably not.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. I think career criminals are people who have extensive criminal.
They're usually dumb.
because they're usually
Okay.
Criminals are never really that smart.
Mm-hmm.
I always find that weird, like that, like the conception of like the Hannibal Lecter, like smart serial killers. Like there's serial killers who probably like have an anomalous like high IQ maybe, but a lot of them are really dumb underachievers. It's like it doesn't take a lot of planning and
Mhm.
brilliance, just like kill a hooker and then leave her body in the woods.
Right.
It's like, oh, this guy's a genius.
Yeah.
It's like he acts impulsively.
It's like that Jim Norton bit about, Ted Bundy represented himself. Yeah, he lost and was executed. It's literally the worst thing that can happen to a client.
Yeah. It's like, and he also didn't even graduate. I think he went to law school. I don't think he graduated. He wasn't like practicing
I
law.
believe he went to paralegal school, which anybody can do.
Weren't you a paralegal?
Yeah,
Nice.
for a little bit. I had 3 paralegal jobs in 3 years, and then I was like very, very, very sad. So I was like, time to do something else.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And to give you an idea of how terrible being a paralegal is, being a telemarketer is 1,000 times better.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's the worst of both worlds because you're working in a law firm, which is high stress.
Yeah.
All 3 of my jobs were high volume, high stress.
Yeah.
The person I was working under didn't seem to have a full understanding.
Like boiler room kind of vibe.
My first paralegal job was foreclosure prosecution.
Okay.
So our client was the banks.
Yeah.
And this is in 2016, I made $15 an hour.
Okay.
And I had to wear like khakis and a polo, and I had a name badge, and I had to work from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Rush hour traffic to and from.
Yeah.
It was like, that's some people's lives for their
Yeah.
whole time. And I was like, yikes, dude.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
The only thing that got me through that, I was like, I'm 25 and I will do this for 9 months. And I did.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like being pregnant, basically.
Yeah. A lot of people probably say that and then they are stuck there.
I know.
And that is a horrifying thought, isn't it?
It's this weird thing of like comfort versus like what's the other, like you have comfort in something that's miserable even, right? Because you're like,
It's
at least it
routine.
won't get
It's familiar.
worse.
Yeah.
But then it's like
Status quo. You're just keep it as it is. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But a lot of people have other stuff in their lives. I always feel for like adult children that have to take care of their parents.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because I
That's
feel like my parents literally, and they're not loaded. They would never ask me for money under any circumstances.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
everybody's relationship to their
Yeah.
parents.
A lot of people have. I'm always impressed. Like when anyone who's like suffered like abuse of any kind from a parent, I'm like, I can't even imagine how horrifying
Mhm.
it's got to be a child like in that environment and how it
Mhm.
screws you up. I'm like, I've had a pretty privileged life in that sense. Like I've never, well, like I can't imagine how people deal with that.
Yeah.
This is a much more serious topic than I think fits the tone of the show.
So I get arrested.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And let's say I don't know to say I invoke my right to remain silent.
Yeah.
What sort of things would the cops do to get me to talk?
They could do anything. So we know you did. They could, because cops are allowed to lie to you.
Mhm.
So they could say, we know you did this, we have this. Or if you tell us, it'll be easier for you. Like whatever bullshit line they have, they can
Mhm.
pretty much do anything.
Mhm.
And they'll keep talking to you unless you use the words, I'm invoke my right to remain silent.
Mhm. Or what if you say lawyer in any context? You're like, I want to talk to my
here's the thing.
lawyer.
They might do a thing where it's like they say that, but then they might still go on. You still have the obligation to like no, not to. So you say, I won't want to speak to my lawyer. Or I won't speak until my lawyer comes.
Okay.
And they might pop. And then then they can't or shouldn't.
Mhm.
But cops don't follow the rules all the time.
I saw this interview with Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter,
Yeah.
and the detective, and I was like, this guy's a genius. Because Nicholas Cruz was trying to be crazy, and he basically got him on camera not being crazy.
Like how? What do you mean not?
Well, like at one point, Nicholas Cruz was like, "Oh man, the demons," and he
Yeah.
goes, "Stop that!"
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh fuck," and he's like, "Are you the guy that shot him?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Okay. It's like the demons were gone real quick. Sorry.
That's the thing though, like, because I was thinking, I'm like, if it was a worse detective,
Yeah.
then Nicholas Cruz probably
He
could.
panics, pulls out a crucifix. It's like, where? Where's the demons? He throws his shield away.
Imagine being a detective, but you're so agreeable that you believe anything anyone
Yeah,
says.
Yeah. You're just the most credulous person.
Sarge, apparently she was asking for it
Yeah.
right away. But that same tenacity could convince an actual innocent person to like confess. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like the skills that it takes to get a guilty person to confess.
Yeah.
Like it's fascinating to me that some people are so agreeable that if you put them in a room for a few hours with an authority figure, they're
Yeah.
like, I will say whatever you want.
Yeah. But that's not really an agreeability thing because it's like I don't think it's not, I don't think it's like certain personalities. I assume certain personalities are more susceptible to that.
Mhm.
But I think when you talk about like false confessions to the police, I think any person could fall victim to that because
Really?
it's not just a couple hours. Like it can be 10, 12 hours. It can be a really long time. They'll lie to you about whatever situation you're in,
Mhm.
and they'll feed you information so that you feed it back to them to
Mhm.
make it look like you came up with the information. Like, so that's what, when false confessions are exposed, it's because they do all those kinds of things,
Mhm.
which they're not supposed to,
Mhm.
or they should be careful to avoid. So,
Right. Yeah. I always think of Brendan Dassey, who I think probably did it, but also is too dumb to.
yeah,
I remember his face in that documentary. I think Stephen Avery definitely did it, and Brendan Dassey probably was part of it. But Brendan Dassey's this is Making a Murder stuff. If you haven't seen it, Netflix special on
it's a streaming service you pay monthly. It used to do. you
the
get to see
television
disc
is
in the-
something that you put in your house. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Everybody fucking knows about that. But Brendan Dassey's face as his defense lawyer is going, he's borderline mentally retarded, Your Honor. It's just so good. That would suck if your only two options are like go to prison forever or everyone thinks you're retarded. That sucks.
I get. Well, if I'm not in prison, I don't think I'd mind if everyone thinks, because you
Yeah.
can still act. I mean, do you have to keep? If you have to keep up the charade,
Yeah.
that's one thing. That's an added burden. If everyone thinks you're retarded, but then you're just like going about your normal life, then it's like, all right.
So here's how dumb I was. My argument was going to be like, well, if it gets out that you're mentally disabled, like you're not going to get laid anymore. But if you're in prison, you're not going to get laid anymore, at least not in the way that you'd want, you know?
You don't. You think retarded people don't? Well, it depends who you're trying to get laid by.
I think a non-disabled woman is not
You don't think?
going.
I think there are women who have fetishes probably for disabled guys.
Oh, they're such a minority though. I think.
Which one? Black, brown?
No, we'll get the color chart.
Okay.
I think
No,
the opposite is
No,
unfortunately.
but because like women like people, women like broken men. Yeah, you're like a fixer upper kind of
Uh-huh.
guy. And who's more broken? A girl brings her extremely disabled boyfriend home for Thanksgiving. It's like, honey, I can fix him. It's like, no, you can't. This is a genetic issue.
A lot of men in their 30s wear diapers, Brenda.
I'm so-
Okay.
she brings a guy with a comically exaggerated, like wearing a helmet and shit. Mom, I want you to meet Tony.
He's not like other guys. For example, he loves Sesame
There's a documentary I saw about it. I forget what it's called, but there used to be a thing called facilitators for like people who were like mute or something, or not mute, like comatose in a weird way.
Street. Okay.
But it was basically a psychological fraud, because basically they're saying, oh, this is what he's saying, and they do experiments. They would have them, like the facilitator, sit next to the person and show them two different images, and then she would write, and then the person would end up writing the thing that she saw. And so, but the facilitators think they're doing a real thing, kind of like psychic medium thing.
Oh.
But anyway, there was a woman, and she wound up having sex with a guy, and like the whole family was like furious, and she was charged, and she went to prison. But she was trying to claim, it's like, no, we have a relationship. He understands. We have a real thing. And everyone's like, you just raped this guy.
Yeah. Yikes, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It'd be funny if your reaction was like, nice plan.
Yeah.
And this becomes like a scheme.
Dude, it's wild. I always think of like, I think people use pop psychology to get away with a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like the satanic panic of the 80s where
Yeah.
like repressed memories might not
Yeah,
even be a
exactly,
thing. And then they would just like, oh, it's almost what you were talking about, like where an innocent person is made to confess.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like a child and they're like, you were molested and you don't remember it,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, yes. And then
Yeah,
they're like,
they
all
just
right, that's all
repeat
the
it.
evidence we
You
need.
feed them information, they regurgitate it, they send it back to you. It's all
Crazy. There was
so
that
crazy.
couple that like ran a daycare and they went to prison for like a decade.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
It was the McMartin school. That was like the 80, like the school in the 80s. That was like a big case in the 80s. Like a bunch of teachers or something were brought down.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we're always susceptible to moral panics.
We sure are.
Yeah. And that's sad.
I think it's weird that every 10 minutes we say something that's kind of honest and profound, but like
Mhm.
it doesn't belong in the
I think everything belongs on the morning serial hour with
All right.
Bobby and
I forgot what the
Ilya.
I do not. What are we keeping the name? You said for IP, not IP for like ease
For
of
IP
use.
purposes, yeah.
We're keeping the name.
For IP purposes,
If
for
we get-
IP freely purposes.
That was a snort. You make that was a snort. That is insane. At your own comment, that is so obnoxious. The biggest cackle I've ever seen you do.
For IP freely purposes.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, dude. Come on, you're a lawyer. You should, or you were one, or someone you know is. I forget what.
Forget what the lie is that we're
We
championing.
can't, Ilya. We can't pretend to be people we're not. Okay.
I'm gonna be on that at midnight show that they brought back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing sadder to me than a comedian on a lineup and they're like, I was on VH1. I'm like, oh, cool.
Is that even a channel still? I don't know if it exists. I don't think I've. Yeah. Patreon.
I'm wondering if I put like obviously untrue credits in my Instagram bio,
Oh yeah.
if it'll just be fine.
Yeah. Where Ted Sarandos, the guy from Netflix, he calls you person. Bobby, don't worry. Please stop using. So he said this. It's like, thank you, Mr. Sarando.
I think the follower count would give people away because I'm under 3,000. So I think they'd be like, if he was on Colbert, he would have at least 10,000. You know,
I don't know if that's true though. You think?
it is kind of wild. It used to be a big deal that if you got a late night spot, you were like famous.
Yeah.
But I've done open mics with people that have been on late night
Yeah.
comedy shows. You know.
Yeah.
Like Colbert or Fallon. God bless him. I liked him when I found out he was a drunk lunatic that's a toxic boss.
Yeah.
So I was like, that juxtaposition is very funny to me, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that like he's handsome, but he's still like destroyed inside makes me feel good.
I think it'd be very funnier if his like character persona was angry, drunk, yelling man, but then he was like a really sweet, like kind of jovial to the point that's annoying kind of guy. Also.
Ooh, okay.
That'd be a nice inverse. Like, what's he like as a boss? He's kind of annoying but harmless.
Yeah.
But then when he's on, he's really mean.
It's interesting though, because basically the reasoning they gave behind like why Jimmy Fallon's a nightmare to work with, other than the fact that he's allegedly an alcoholic, is that like he's like strict. And the reason they give is like, well, we're putting on a show 5 nights a week or whatever, like blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, well, then why does every late night host not act like that then?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I've had shitty bosses that were lawyers, right? And they were shitty and they'd be like, you have to understand how much stress I'm under. And I'm like, but the other partners actually don't act like this at all.
Yeah.
You know, people take their flaw
Yeah.
and they try to make it something good,
Yeah.
I guess, instead of being like it would be nice if some of my former bosses were like, I have an anger problem. I don't handle stress well. But they're like, actually, this is for the greater good that I
It
have
is
to yell.
nice when they at least acknowledge it. It's like, I'm not doing anything about it, but I'm aware of my flaws.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fix them.
But you don't, or like your friend who's a lawyer.
Yeah.
But you've never had like paralegals under you, have you?
No, not. I mean, I guess kind of paralegals, but not really like under. No, not like that. Really, no.
Yeah. The paralegal thing is really the worst of both worlds because you're not making any money, but you're in a stressful environment.
Yeah,
And that sucks.
And you have to do a lot of the harder work, like actually actually filling out forms or whatever, like a lot of admin technical stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that's really annoying. Yeah.
And I was happy that in all 3 jobs, because I went from foreclosure prosecution, right? So the clients are the banks, right? And then I did insurance defense. So the clients were auto insurance.
Okay.
And
I'm surprised that both times you brought up banks, he didn't make a Jew comment afterwards. I was like, he's surely going to make something.
that would be disgusting.
Are you just upset that you didn't think to do that before?
No, you fucking Jew. Ilya is Jewish, which I think is great.
You have to introduce me every time. Remind people every episode. Ilya's Jewish.
I was actually, because I don't see you. I don't see
you. I don't see you.
I don't see money grubbing. I just see a man that wants to do a podcast with me, which I think is great.
I just see a man rubbing 2 pennies together. Just a regular old American man.
Yeah. But the whole thing about like, oh, pick up a penny from the floor, like I would. It's free money. Yes. Whatever. I have an area in my house that I just put coins in.
Nice.
You know what I mean? But thing about New York City, no coin stars. I don't know why. I think the homeless might have ruined it for us.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. They literally don't exist. I don't know where
Yeah.
to bring. I have
they
like
not
this
in-
big bag of change.
The only time I've ever seen them was like in, I guess, certain supermarkets, maybe. But,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Folks, let me know in the comments where I could.
If you know where I can find a Coinstar, I need some help, guys.
Yeah, I really either subscribe to the Patreon or let me know where I could exchange nickels and dimes for dollars.
We don't have a Patreon, though,
We
right?
don't, but I'm
Because if you start one and like you don't give me one, it's gonna be a problem. If you're like hiding money from me, if you're embezzling,
dude, I would love to embezzle.
would you?
Right?
It's probably
I'd get caught embezzling, because they would find out that I Googled how to embezzle in
Yeah.
Google incognito mode. One of those.
The first Google is how to go incognito. And the second one is just all the shit you weren't supposed to look at.
Then the second thing I Google on.
And then it's like, fuck, how to prevent people from seeing what I Googled before. That's fun.
I wonder how many old men don't look at porn just because they don't know how to hide it from their wives.
Oh, that's an interesting interesting psychology there.
But I think you could get grandfathered in, no pun intended, if like you were jacking off to magazines and then you're like, I don't know how to hide internet porn from my wife, so I'm just not going to look at it. And therefore you could still jack off to magazines.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. We chose to get a genetic DNA thing done a couple years
Okay.
ago, so I had to give a sperm sample.
Oh.
And then the place, and they give you like a selection of just DVDs.
DVDs.
It's like you want me to hold a remote and match. I haven't done this in like. When's the last time I put a DVD?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it's insane. So
You're
I just
bringing me
use
back to
phone.
my Swordfish days, dude. That's how my friends and I used to masturbate. Is we had a DVD of Swordfish.
The Halle Berry movie. Okay,
Mhm.
I want to be sure we were just talking about that movie because it was like that's not porn, but you see her tits.
You see your tits, which if you're 13 is enough. And by the way, the movie Swordfish, never watched it. Don't know what it's about. All I know is there's a scene where you see Halle Berry's titties, and I would like share this with my friends. We
Yeah.
would make the rotations.
Yeah, I remember having like magazines in the woods, like that cliche.
Yeah.
like 100% true.
Yeah, but I can never jerk off in the woods. Does the bear jerk off in the woods?
No, no.
Does the Pope jerk off in the woods?
I love it. I like
Yeah.
it. I'm a fan.
We
of
got
that.
an American Pope now, dude.
Yeah.
USA,
Pope,
USA,
yeah.
USA. Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if this guy's gonna be like, hey, you could be gay sometimes.
Sometimes
Yeah, because fucking who's the last guy?
Francis said like gay people can go to heaven.
Yeah, he was, but I'm wondering the first pope that's like gay marriage is cool, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? Because I went to Catholic school. You know what the annoying thing about that day is going to be that like a generation after that day,
Yeah.
all Catholics are going to act like Catholicism was always cool about gay
Yeah.
people. Because when I went to Catholic school, a lot of our teachers that taught religion would brag about the fact that like you could believe in evolution as a Catholic.
Yeah.
Like, because in the 70s or whatever, the Pope was like, evolution's real.
Yeah.
You know, it's not incompatible with like the creation story or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but don't act like you guys didn't put Galileo in house
Yeah.
arrest. You know?
I like how Catholics like just adhere so quickly. It's like Pope says keto's the best diet. So,
Yeah.
so we're just doing no more Eucharist, guys.
I love the keto Pope. That'd be
Yeah.
great, man.
Just whatever the Pope says is like. Yeah.
I was about to joke that the Pope would advocate semen retention, but that's actually true. You know,
But that's not a thing. That's why you know they're lying because you just have wet dreams.
Yeah.
You can't Catholic your way out of that.
I did go a whole month without jerking off one time, and I didn't have a wet dream. But when I did jack off after 30 days of not jacking off, when it came out, it was mostly yellow. So I don't think it's good to go that long.
Man, that story just kept getting worse. It's like there's no way this is gonna end more. Oh, it's yellow. Okay, yeah. I didn't like any part of that.
Apparently, it could be a little yellow, but
Why does it become yellow? Is
I
it
don't
old?
know. I don't know. Maxim, can you go on Google?
Can you find out if you don't come for a month why your cum turns yellow? If you have the time. If you have the time.
Oh man, gross, dude. Ick.
Ick indeed.
So you know,
Maybe it's the urea. Like that's what you're expelling the waste from your urine. Maybe it's some festering.
There was a weird thing where I was like really horny. It was July. Okay, so this is July of I want to say 2017. It must have been because I was working in Hoboken, right? And This is before I knew about No Nut November. I was doing what I called Jackless July, and I was posting about it on Facebook. This is before all my aunts and cousins were like friends with me. Facebook was like what Instagram is now, where you could like do bits with friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was taking a selfie every day and like talking about my journey, but I was just calling it Jackless July, and I wouldn't explain further. So there were some. I feel like men picked up immediately, but women were like, because it was like a. I was doing like a parody of like motivational stuff, and like the first week was like, oh, okay. Cause like I generally don't go full week, you know, especially when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Week 2 was like, yikes. Week 3. And then I guess cycled back to.
It's like, it's kind of like when fasting or something. There's a point where you get to it. It's like, oh, now it's not that bad.
So Ilya, you're Jewish.
Thank you. Yes.
But a secular Jew. So you never did Yom Kippur.
No, but I've done like 3-day fasts just when I was there, or longer.
You've done 3-day fasts?
Yeah.
Why? While you think about it, Maxim, why? I don't know if he's actually. I think there's a good chance he didn't think that was an actual request.
I mean, you don't have to do it, but I would like to know.
We would.
Is because I need to verify if it's true. What if Bobby's lying?
This is what being a small business owner is.
What if we just stay quiet and refuse to talk until he goes? Like he's invested. It's our podcast. It doesn't affect him at all.
I do remember I Googled one time, like, different semen colors.
Yeah. If you want to Bing it, you can do that. If that's the problem.
You could Bing it if you want.
If it's a search
engine.
You
could ask Jeeves.
Jeeves, come here.
After a long time, after abstaining from ejaculation, due to the breakdown and reabsorption of old sperm cells. Yeah, look at you.
Is that are you recorded for this?
They can hear me.
Oh, they can. I just want to make sure. I don't want there to be long silence where we're just like perking our ears up. And then you just put a fake audio.
Like dogs when someone's in the other room.
So it's your cum breaks down, but it's still inside you.
You got old cum, dude.
Old cum.
OC if you don't have much time.
It's like, you know what? You have like an old like ketchup bottle and you get like. So you just give it a rinse and now it's good as new.
Jackless July, dude. And I started a trend because everyone's like, no, not November. Like Jackless July is actually harder because it's an extra day because you got 31 days in July.
And also all the women are with their tits out in New York in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when it's super. That's the thing about when it's really hot is that women that generally dress conservative, even they are like, I'm too hot.
I gotta let this pussy breathe.
Gotta let this pussy breathe.
Yeah,
which is actually what I say when I'm outside too.
You just say it.
I say that whenever I'm breathing.
I'm breathing. This pussy's breathing. When people were like, when George Floyd died, and people were like, I can't. You were like, I get it, man. You had no idea what it was on. You didn't know what BLM was.
Yikes.
That was good stuff. We should circle back down to the collection.
Oh, man.
That is good stuff. But no, that's the thing is like you can't not come. Your body's going to come. So like it doesn't do anything with it.
And I do think that like now as an adult, knowing that all the adult men in Catholic school are like, don't masturbate. I'm like, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
You masturbate.
Yeah.
You probably masturbated last night. I hope so. I hope you did.
You really stretch out the conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, do you use your left or right hand? Like, do you invert it or like what's your?
They say that you could use your non-dominant hand and it acts as like kind of a stranger.
But I don't. But I like being dominated.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
It's like non-dominant. Mm-hmm. Which one's? I'm trying to think how. What's sub? If you use your dominant hand, you're dominating yourself, or you're being dominated. It's a tough one.
Yeah, sexuality is just complicated, dude.
Yeah, it's weird.
I wish that I knew how to jack off as a child.
Me too.
And there's no...
Did it wrong.
You did it wrong?
Well, I didn't do it wrong. I used to like hump pillows all the time.
I was literally about to... Okay, so I wouldn't hump a pillow, but I would jizz on a pillow. Because I had what was...
Was the pillow on the other side of the room? You paint a face on it? Come here. Just go.
God damn, dude. No, here I... used to, and I want to hear, believe me, we're going to get back to you humping a pillow. I would have what I called cum pillow, right? And I mean, I never said it out loud.
But it was understood.
It was in my head. I was like, so I lived in my parents' basement as a child. It's okay to live in your parents' basement if you're a child, right?
Was it a renovated basement? Like a finished basement?
Oh yeah, it was
Okay.
like carpet and a TV.
I had a friend who lived in a parents' basement. It was not a finished basement.
So I had my bed. It was a pretty big basement. It had a bed and then a couch like this couch, right? Except you couldn't see underneath, right?
You had a bachelor pad as a child?
Isn't that pretty cool?
That's weird. I had my own beer fridge and all my football helmet collection. Yeah, it was, yeah.
And taxidermied elk and deer on the walls.
Yep. It's a real VFW kind of.
And then a shirt that says, "If you're reading this, the bitch fell off." Hell yeah, dude.
Yep, all the top stuff.
Mhm.
Anyway, you were.
So there was a couch, and there were on the couch there were 2 like artisan pillows.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is one side was like had a fancy design, but then the other side was just like a back of a pillow.
Yeah, just the back of the pillow.
So for some reason, a preteen Bobby was like, "There's 2 of these pillows. Who knows if there's 2? I'll have one up here.
Okay.
And then the second one I'm going to jizz on and then put it underneath the couch." And so that, because I didn't have a bathroom,
Yeah.
I had to go upstairs to the bathroom.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go upstairs, get toilet paper, hide it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But in my brain, I was like, if I go upstairs and take paper, there's no way for me to do it without mom knowing I was jacking off, right?
Yeah.
So I would jack off on this pillow, right?
Yeah.
And I did this for months, and it got all stained,
Yeah.
and like it became like yellow.
God, stop with the yellow. Jesus.
No, I had regular colored cum.
Yeah,
Because
but
believe me, at 12, I was not waiting 30 days. I was jizzing, as the Bible says. But I was doing this for a while. I was watching the Red Shoe Diaries.
Okay.
The Red Shoe Diaries is for lesbians. It's softcore porn for women that don't know they're lesbians yet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They would like, you would see their
Gateway.
tits and they would like
It's a
kiss.
gateway to lesbianism.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know if I ever became a lesbian, but I used to like jizz on this pillow. And then one day, the pillow's gone. So my poor mom or dad found that pillow and they're like, "We're not going to talk with him. We're just going to."
But why would they
Throw
take
this
your
out.
But they should at least replace it with a new pillow.
But it was underneath. I was
Yeah.
hiding that pillow.
Yeah.
So then they just took that and threw it away and didn't say anything to me.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But you were humping a pillow?
Yeah, I would hump. And I think I read. I think it's because Louis C.K. had a bit about like one time like lying on his friend and like press his penis, and so like humping is just like press like your sensitivity is like it's just like I had to teach myself to masturbate with my hands like later in life because like that's not how I did it.
Yeah, I do remember I used to do the forefinger thing. I wouldn't wrap my my hand around like this, and then I watched an adult video where a guy was doing
I used
it.
to have I still have it. I just never do it because I never get to work. But as a bit, but it's like it should be part. Like masturbation should be part of sex ed because they're gonna be doing that first.
Yeah.
and no one ever teaches you that. Hey, just use your hand, do it this way, and then you're just left to your own devices, and some of you end up humping pillows for a long time.
Dude, and I used to do this other thing. I had so many, like you said, you have to experiment, and you're a child, so you don't have all your intellectual faculties, and also you're horny. And when you're horny, you're not very smart either. You know what I mean? One is not very smart. I'm talking about you specifically.
Yeah. I get smarter. I'm like the Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like the Hulk who gets smarter, but when he's horny.
I'm getting horny. You won't like me when I'm horny. I used to do this thing where I would, I remember this, because I was afraid of being completely naked because like if I heard my mom walking downstairs, so I would put my pants around my ankles, and then I would take my shirt and I would do. I'll just fucking show you.
You've taken your shirt off every episode of time.
I would do this, right? And so I would do that so that I wouldn't get cum on my shirt.
Okay, yeah.
And then I would kneel down, right? And I would have 3 pieces of paper towel to make like a triangle.
It's a psychotic. And you kneel like you're in mass or something. You brought your Catholicism to your jerk off rituals.
And then the most stressful part was trying to come on those exact 3 pieces
Wait, 3 pieces of what?
of paper towel.
Was it full sheet or half sheet?
It was full sheet, but
Yeah.
it was 3. But I had as a child, I
Or
had
were they
quite,
splayed out like side? Like what kind of area did you give yourself?
So it was
Like
like
a baseball diamond dish kind of size.
okay, so perfect. Okay.
There's a color chart if you want to use for reference.
At the end of Jackless July, it looked like this. Okay, so you got the one candle. Here's okay.
Okay.
So this is not what the candle. I'm not actually gonna jizz on the Maxim.
You just shove it right up your ass. Guys, these candles are fantastic.
So I would have the one paper towel here,
Yeah.
the other paper towel here, and then the third one here.
Okay.
And I would try to
So it
come in
looks
the
like
middle.
that Tetris piece where it's like
Yeah.
like the whatever the keyboard, like the ASD.
And then later, I figured out that I didn't have to stress about this if I just laid on my stomach and
And
put the paper towel over my stomach.
Okay.
Right? So, guys, that's been the Before Hours podcast.
I just noticed it's on the dot of when we're supposed to end.
Please like and subscribe. And remember, folks, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Ilya hates this outro.
I hate it so much.
Thank you.